So how do you make $10,000 as an insurance agent selling car insurance or home insurance or whatever the case is? I'm going to go over and show you exactly how to work the numbers backwards to see exactly how you can make $10,000. This scenario will work with whatever amount you want. So if you want to make 20 or 12 or even 8, you can plug these numbers in either which way. The best way to think about this is we got to work backwards. So if we want to earn $10,000, we have to divide it by the profit that we want, because we want to walk home with the $10,000 in our pocket. If you're part of a management company, you've got to take that into consideration. So if you're not familiar with that, I'll put a video at the end that goes over the benefits of having a management company or a affiliate, or MGM as they call them. It's basically a network. In this case, most agents out there are working with some sort of a network. So that network is going to take anywhere from 10 to 20% depending on the contract that you have. In my scenario, I'm going to use 15% as the example. So it's called an 85-15 split. I keep 85 of the money I make. 15 goes to you for all of the benefits I get from that company. So we have to divide that by the company split. In my case, I have to divide that by the 0.85 because I'm making 85%. That leaves me with the amount that I'm going to make or need to make in order to give some of that money back to that management company. So I have to come up with $11,765 in order to walk home with $10,000. Now that's not the amount I've sold in business, because keep in mind, insurance companies have contracts. So whatever company you're with, whether you're trying to work with Progressive or Geico or whoever company you're selling insurance through, technically you can't do Geico, but let's just pretend I'm a State Farm agent, or I'm an Allstate agent, or I'm independent where I work with Nationwide and Progressive and Safeco and all of these companies, but they each give me different cuts. And what I'm just going to focus on is the main average percentage. So across the board, what I've seen as far as an average for insurance payout is about 12%. It can vary, 10% for some commercial, and it can be 15% for some companies. Depending on the type of clients you're writing in the bundles and all of that business, it'll vary. But in our scenario, let's average it out across the board to be about 12%. So in our case, we're going to take the $11,765 and we're going to divide that by the average payout for companies. So in our case, it's 0.12. If it's 0.15 for you, you plug in the 0.15, but this is going to be common. So that means we need to write $98,039 in premium. So how many clients is this actually going to be? If we have $98,000 in premium, we got to look at our numbers. What's our average premium? In our state in Michigan, we're kind of closer to that $1,500 range. But if you're in a state like Texas or other states, they're not charging as much for insurance. They don't have all the coverages that we require. So kind of across the board, the average is right around that, I'd say $800 to $1,200 per policy. Let's just make it simple and just say it's an average of $1,000 per policy. And keep in mind, it might vary. So when we say that, we're counting renters and we're counting home and we're counting umbrellas. This is where being specific, and we'll talk about in a moment, to what you're selling makes a huge difference. So $98,039 divided by 1,000, which is our average policy count. That's going to leave us with 98 policies that we have to write this month. Here's where bundling comes into play. Not so much just the policies, it's the policies plus the longevity of the client. So if our average is one policy per household, one client gets car insurance, one client gets home insurance, then I just need to sell 98 policies. That's a lot. If I average 2 policies per household, that means I don't have to sell half as much. Our agency is about a 1.8 per household policy count. Now, this month, I'm actually a 2.6 per household policy account, and I've got a lot of premium because of it, just because the type of clients that I'm focusing on are home, auto, they need umbrellas, they might have a motorcycle, they might have toys. Those types of clients are going to have more of that business. In this scenario, if we just cut this in half, let's just say we are about a 2. We're looking anywhere from 49 households, we'll say HH for households, to 65 households. So 65 would be more along the line if you sell 1.5 policies per house. If you're selling below that, honestly, you need to revamp the way that you're selling the insurance or look at the market that you're in. It makes sense if you're in a state where you can't sell anything else, but 9 times out of 10, you should be selling at least 1.5 or more policies per household. So Mark, how do I sell 49 to 65 policies per household. Well, I'm going to go over that. I'm actually going to put it on my community page where I'm going to go a little bit further in depth in this. I'll put the link in the description below if you guys want to watch that content or look at that type of video, to where I'll go over and show you how I personally sell the 49 to 65 households. For those of you that just came for the title, there you go. That's how you make $10,000 in the home and auto industry. Keep in mind, this income is reoccurring revenue. If you keep 60, 70, 90% of this business to renew the following year, it's a lot different than your typical like life insurance or that type of policy where they pay you all of it up front. This is a long-term play. So if I was to write $10,000 a month, that means $7,000 to $9,000 of that, if not more, is returning next year. And so I write another $10,000 on top of the $10,000 that I have already. So now in year 2, 3, or 4, depending on the amount of work I put in, I'm getting $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. This is essentially the new six-figure world. Hopefully it's helpful. Let me know in the comments below if I missed any pieces or if any of it was confusing. Once again, the link's in the description if you want to watch the follow-up to this. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you soon.